Welcome to Guerrilla Sports Daily. I'm your host for today, Liv Moods, and this is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American salary-based mortgage consultants want to help you get into a better interest rate and lower your monthly payments. Just head to trustedamerican.com to see how they can help you save some money today.
Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. And also, I have not spoken to you since the holidays. So I hope everybody had a very happy holidays, a very Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate. I hope you had a lot of family time, ate good food, maybe had some drinks, and just, enjoyed a little time off. I think it's always good to have some time away from work, no matter how much you love your job. Okay. We are going to talk about a few things today, one of which is just catching us all up on all things Denver sports. And then we're going to jump into some NFL conversations in regards to season awards as well as NFL playoff implications. We know that we are entering that time of year where there's teams that already know they are not playoff teams, and there's teams that are still fighting to be playoff teams. So we'll talk about all of that. And then, of course, you can expect an off-field episode following this daily with myself, Brandon Cristal, and Nate Jackson. They will be joining me here in studio, and we'll talk all things Broncos, what their playoff picture looks like, and also do a deep dive into more NFL talk with the two of them. But for now, let's talk about our Denver sports. We'll start with the Denver Broncos because we're going to talk about that more in a little bit, so I won't spend too much time here. Pretty heartbreaking loss for the Denver Broncos against the Chargers when that game got flexed to a Thursday night football game. It was a primetime game. I think most, if not all, Broncos fans were very excited to see what they could do against the Chargers team that they had lost to earlier in the season. However, they fell short. And by fall short, I mean they showed up in the first half. They looked really strong, really solid. And then in that second half, pretty much forgot to show up. So unfortunately, did not get a win in that game. The Chargers are a great team, another AFC West division rival for this Broncos team. It would have been nice to see them get it done, but they didn't. This weekend, actually tomorrow, Saturday game. I love Saturday games, to be honest with you. I really do. Tomorrow, we will watch our Broncos take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And if you are a casual NFL watcher or you're a Broncos fan that really only pays attention to Broncos games, I will tell you, do not be fooled by the Bengals record. Please don't be fooled. Merry Christmas to you, KT. Thank you so much for being here. Do not be fooled by that Bengals record because most would assume, based on that record, that they are not a good football team, and that is just absolutely not the case. Joe Burrow is having an MVP level season. Jamar Chase also having an MVP level season. This is a really, really good football team. So the Broncos cannot let their guard down. They cannot get comfortable here because they need to win or tie at least one of their next two games. One is against the Bengals. The other is against the Chiefs. It's not going to be easy, Broncos fans. They can get it done. I have full faith, but it's not going to be easy. And like I said, the Bengals are not to be underestimated in the slightest. Okay, let's talk about the Nuggets a little bit. Some changes definitely need to be made with this Nuggets team. It is a fact. It is something that we have watched, and I think most of us have been sitting there crossing our fingers, hoping they're just going to need some time to figure it out. Well, we're getting to the point in the season now where some of the issues we saw early in the season, right? When they started 0-2, losing to OKC and to the Clippers to start their season, both home games, it was feeling kind of defeating. It was feeling like, oh my gosh, are they ever going to figure this out? And I said, after one of those losses, I said to you guys, if we still look this way by game 25 or 30, we can start to panic. Well, folks, we are there, okay? We are at that point in the season where the mistakes that the Nuggets are making are just unacceptable. You've had enough time now to find that chemistry, to click, to get used to things, and it's not happening. So something's got to give here, right? Nikola Jokic, as great as he is, best player in the world, it's not even a conversation, cannot do it all. And also, I know I like to talk about Nikola Jokic like he is God sent, and in so many ways he is, but he's not playing a whole lot of defense. And defense is something that is severely lacking with this Nuggets team. There needs to be changes that are made. We've talked about the trade rumors that are circling MPJ's head right now. We heard from Coach Malone following one of their games that there really isn't truth to those rumors and that we shouldn't believe everything that we see in the media. However, Michael Porter Jr. is our last tradable piece if we want to make some big time trades or moves with this Denver Nuggets team before the trade deadline, which is February 6th. We've got a little over a month now to be figuring things out for this Nuggets team. And sadly, Michael Porter Jr. seems to be the only option in terms of getting, bang for your buck here. He's our only tradable piece as of now. So it's going to be very interesting. I actually went to that Monday game, Nuggets versus Suns. And it was a very great basketball game. Obviously, the Nuggets fell short to the Suns when they were on the road on Christmas Day. And it was one of those losses. It was a sloppy game of basketball. Turnovers happening everywhere. Defense was not being played. But I went to the Monday night game at home where they dominated the Suns. And of course, the Suns were without Devin Booker and Grayson Allen, but the Nuggets were also without Jamal Murray. Just for your brain, because you guys know how I feel about all of this, I want you to look up on your own time the Nuggets record with Russ as a starter in comparison to the Nuggets record with Jamal as a starter. I'm not going to give my opinion because everyone seems to think I'm a hater when I talk about it. So I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to let you do your own research. You look up that record and you let me know if you see a pattern. You let me know if you see something that is very, very interesting to you, because I've seen it. And to me, it's a very telling statistic in so many ways. So look that up on your own time. All of that to say, the Denver Nuggets do play basketball tonight. And I think we are getting to that point in the season where if we continue to see them pedal forward just to pedal backwards, it's going to be a very, very long season. All of that to also say, it's a home game for the Nuggets tonight. More importantly, it's a game against the Cavs, who are arguably the best team in the NBA right now. 26-4 is their record. The Nuggets, 16-12. This Cavs team is not really losing a whole lot. So the Nuggets are really going to have to be on their P's and Q's in order to win this basketball game. So it should be a good one, but it will also be a very telling basketball game. And of course, we will keep you posted on all things post-game, give you our real raw emotions. Hopefully, I'm not screaming. Hopefully, there's a smile on my face. But you guys already know if the Nuggets can't figure it out, I'm sure I will not be all that thrilled. Okay, let's move on to perhaps the Avalanche, the Colorado Avs. You guys know I don't know a ton about this team, but I will say based on the little bit of research that I've done, seems like this Avs team is finding maybe a second wind. I think that they were dealing with a lot of injuries. They had a lot of broken bodies throughout this season that were causing a lot of changes have been happening. They just got a new goalie. That's a change that no matter how great the change may be, it does take a second typically to reestablish your chemistry and culture with a new leader. So it seems like they're getting back on track, all things considered. And of course, it's a very long season, similarly to the Nuggets, where it's a long year, but these games will matter. Wins do matter. And this Avs team actually tonight will be playing against the Utah Hockey Club. They are on the road. They have been getting back on track based on what I've been able to see in their last few games. They've been getting some wins. They've got some wins under their belt. Against the Kraken on December 22nd, they won 5-2. So this Avs team, I'm not sure how they deal well or not so well with a rest advantage. If I am seeing this correctly, it looks like so they have one extra day of rest in comparison to the Utah Hockey Club. That being said, some teams do really well when they can give their bodies some rest and they can take some time away. Other teams don't really do so well with that. The Nuggets are a great example of that. When they have extra rest and you think it's going to help, it doesn't always help them. So the Avs have been off since the 22nd. Hopefully they've got a lot of momentum that they can carry over into this road game. After that road game, let's see what kind of road games they've got after that. They're actually home then on Tuesday, December 31st, and they're home for about 4 games in a row, it looks like. So if they can get through this road game against the Utah Hockey Club, get a dub, and bring that energy back home, I think Ball Arena will be really happy to have them home and riding on a pretty good amount of wins back to back to back to back. So Avs are sitting in a much better position than they were a few weeks ago when I talked about them. And again, I asked Jesse Montano, what does this Avs team look like if they can stay healthy? And he said they're contenders. If they can just get their best guys back on the ice. Based on what I heard from Chloe, who's also a very large hockey fan here in this building, she said, it sounds like they're going to get some guys back after the new year. And just so you know, that's next week. I know, kind of disgusting, kind of sick to think about the fact that 2025 is literally next week. Next week. That means that 2020 was half a decade ago. Are you kidding me? Ew, I don't want to think about it. So either way, Avs are getting back on track. Shout out to the Colorado Avalanche. They're on the road tonight, and then they will be back home, I think, for 4 straight games in Ball Arena. So Avs fans, fear not. You will be able to watch your favorite team very, very, very soon. Okay, our Buffs playing tomorrow in the Alamo Bowl. I have had the honor of actually dancing on the sidelines in an Alamo Bowl for TCU. If you guys don't know, for 4 years, I was a TCU showgirl. I was on the dance team out there. Really loved my time doing that. And we went to the Alamo Bowl, and it was really, really fun. The San Antonio Riverwalk is a place you have to go at some point if you love college football. It's just exciting. It's fun. And the CU Buffs have obviously had such an interesting story to follow. Despite struggling at the tail end of their year last year under Coach Prime, they managed to turn their season around. We're nearly a playoff team in this new 12-team expansion. They have a Heisman winner on their side, and Shedeur Sanders. Pretty exciting draft pick that I think a lot of NFL teams want to get their hands on. Now, it'll be interesting to see Shedeur Sanders play because I do think there's going to be a lot of NFL coaches, GMs, you name it, watching Shedeur Sanders under a different microscope. You know, they're about to start having to make some business deals here. And I think Shedeur Sanders is a hot commodity that a lot of teams would love to have. But it'll be interesting to see how he performs on a very high level against a very great team in BYU. So we've got our Buffs taking on BYU, who are also a new team in the Big 12 and made some noise early. They were sitting on top of the Big 12 almost all year long. Did not make it to the Big 12 championship game, but they were a really solid team all season. So it'll be very interesting to see how this game unfolds. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think we're going to have a lot of points, a lot of touchdowns, and it's going to be a really fun one to watch. So I will certainly be tuning into that. I want to give a little bit of love, although I know absolutely nothing nothing about this team, but let me just check really quick. Colorado State, the CSU Rams. I don't want to neglect them too much here, but they will be in Tucson playing the Arizona Bowl against Miami, Ohio. Okay, let's see when this game is. When is this game? It is Saturday, December 28th. It's tomorrow. Both of our Colorado college teams will be playing in their respective bowl games tomorrow. Actually, CSU is playing in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. I'm sorry. I would love to play in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Are you kidding me? Sounds fantastic. So we will be seeing our Colorado Rams. They are 8-4, 6-1 versus Mountain West teams, and Miami, Ohio, 8-5, 7-1 versus their conference. So should be a good one. CSU has been a team that's been fun to watch over the last few years. They've definitely gotten far more competitive than when I was younger watching these two teams. So hopefully both of our Colorado college teams can get some wins in their respective bowl games tomorrow. So you can expect both of these teams to be on your television screens tomorrow. Okay, Denver sports. I think I covered it on the Denver sports angle. Now, before we get out of here, let's talk a little bit about the NFL playoff picture and also some season awards. I want to start with the conversation around the Broncos. We're going to get into that more in just a second. But like I mentioned, they need to win or tie one of their next 2 games, the one tomorrow or the one following. And their opponents for those next 2 games are the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Ouch. Dropping that game against the Chargers definitely is going to bite them because the Bengals are no easier to beat and neither are the Chiefs. Despite the Bengals record, I am here to let you know, do not pay any mind to that record. Please don't, because it means just about nothing. This team is very, very talented. The Bengals are a very, very good football team, and their record just does not reflect that. Joe Burrow having an MVP level season, Jamar Chase also having an MVP level season. I would argue right now Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Period. So there is no world in which this Broncos team should approach this game with anything but seeing red. Play pissed off. Play like your life depends on it because, to be honest with you, it kind of does, okay? It kind of does in this situation. You've got to win or tie one of your last 2, and the Chiefs, we've been beat by them before in a pretty brutal fashion, and I would like to hope and think and pray that the Broncos will not allow that to happen again, but who knows? Who knows? This Chiefs team is having a really hard time losing this year, unfortunately. I know we hate it. I know we're sick of it, but it's just the truth. They are having a very difficult time losing. So there's a lot that is riding on these last two games for the Denver Broncos, and hopefully they can get it done. A couple of teams that have now been eliminated, one of which is the 49ers. And I think that's kind of a shock to a lot of people because they brought most of their Super Bowl contending team back this season. It has definitely seemed like there has been something behind closed doors happening with this 49ers team that we don't know anything about. And the only reason I say that is when you have this much talent, and of course, injuries. They have been riddled with injuries and personal things that they have had to deal with. So I don't want to just sweep those under the rug and act like they're not there. They have been there and they do make a difference. But even more than that, some of their strongest players have just not been having standout seasons. They have not been playing super, super well. So there's a world in which there's going to be some changes made to this 49ers team at the end of the season. They may start playing chess with some of their guys in order to get back on track to be a contending team, because there was nothing about the 49ers this year that gave contending, impressions. They just did not seem that way. They did not seem like they were prepared for making and going the distance in the playoffs. So let's talk a little bit about the AFC playoff picture first. I know I was just talking about the NFC in the 49ers, but we're going to talk about the AFC first. Right now, here are the playoff standings as of right now. In first, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, 15-1. The Buffalo Bills, number 2, 12-3. The Baltimore Ravens, 11-5. And let me make sure this is very updated. Okay. Houston Texans 9-7, and of course, sending all of my love over to Houston because Tank Dell has been tearing it up this season and now has a season-ending injury just like he had last year, and it sounds like he may be out for next season as well. He tore an ACL and MCL, dislocated his kneecap. I mean, he really, really injured himself, and it's going to be a very long road to recovery for him. So sending him all of our love and prayers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 10-6 after losing to the Chiefs, unfortunately, on Christmas Day. I think a lot of us were hoping that they could get it done because of how competitive they've been and well coached and how great Russell Wilson has been playing. But they fell short. Of course, the Chiefs won yet again. Los Angeles Chargers, 9-6, sitting in that 6th seed spot right now. Now, wins, tie, break. What does this mean? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So as it pertains to the Denver Broncos, because the Broncos right now are 9-6 as well, and they're in that 7th spot. Head-to-head win percentages will matter when it comes to Chargers Broncos. Well, we've lost to the Chargers twice this year. So despite having the same record as the Chargers at 9-6, the Chargers are going to be ahead of the Broncos because they've beaten the Broncos twice in one season. So the Broncos are right after that, and then the Colts at 7-8. So really, 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 the Broncos need to win or tie at least one of the next two. Okay. Below the Colts is the Miami Dolphins, and they're going to be kind of in that neck and neck situation with the Bengals in terms of head-to-head win percentage. So AFC, I think, is pretty set right now outside of those bottom few teams, really the Denver Broncos. Right now, the Broncos have got a lot riding on their shoulders for their last 2 games in order for them to make a playoff push here. Okay, the NFC playoff picture. The Detroit Lions, 13-2. The Philadelphia Eagles, 12-3. The Los Angeles Rams, what a shocker here, 9-6. The Falcons, 8-7. The Minnesota Vikings, 13-2, which is very interesting. They've got such a great record there, but so much of this has to do with win percentage, head-to-head win percentages. It's a little interesting. And then after that, you've got the Green Bay Packers at 11-4. Washington Commanders 10-5, Seattle Seahawks 9-7. Now, the Packers, to me, there is something about them that feels extremely sneaky this season. They feel like a team that could really upset some teams in the playoffs. I don't know what it is about them specifically, but the Packers, to me, are far more threatening than I think a lot of people think they are. So that is one team that I'm looking at. Obviously, the Commanders under Jaden Daniels, that kind of leads me into my offensive rookie of the year conversation. I, of course, selfishly have a Bo Nix offensive rookie of the year ticket that I would love to cash. I would love it to cash. I think I would walk away with $300 maybe. After watching Jaden Daniels upset the Philadelphia Eagles, the Bo Nix ticket that I have may as well be put in the trash can. Now, A lot of you are probably going to say, duh, everybody knew that. No, you didn't, smarty pants. You had no idea. This was a very tight race for a very long time. And if Bo Nix could have gone head to head with Justin Herbert, with Patrick Mahomes, and with Joe Burrow, it would have still been a very, very tight race. Unfortunately, Bo Nix kind of pooped his pants against the Chargers, so that didn't help. And then Jaden Daniels in the final seconds of the game against the Philadelphia Eagles wins it for his team, finds a way. Jaden Daniels is the offensive rookie of the year, point blank, period. You might as well throw this guy just for funsies in a conversation about MVP. I know he's not the MVP, but that's how good he's playing right now. You could make a case for Jaden Daniels, not just offensive rookie of the year, but offensive player of the year. He looks really great, and he's done a lot with a little as it pertains to this Commanders team. We know this Commanders team has had a lot of changes. They've had a lot of different things going on for them in terms of coaching changes. They're finally developing a team that I think has a winning culture around them. This is a team that I think will go the distance under Jaden Daniels. I think for years and years and years to come, you can expect the Commanders to be a winning football team. And you haven't been able to say that about the Commanders for some time now. So Jaden Daniels deserves all of the love and the praise and the recognition. I also live bet the Commanders. If you guys remember, actually, on this daily show a week ago, I told you to take the Commanders over the Eagles. I said that. And I bet that. And then I doubled down when the Commanders were down, and then I realized that Jalen Hurts wasn't returning to the game. I doubled down at plus 255 money line for the Commanders to win, and Jaden Daniels pulled the win off. As a rookie, he is just playing phenomenal football and deserves all of the credit in the world. So shout out to Jaden Daniels. The Offensive Rookie of the Year award is his, point blank, period. And you guys, I have a Bo Nix Offensive Rookie of the Year ticket. I want nothing more than Bo Nix to win this award. He's just not going to. Jaden Daniels just looks that good. You're right, Sean. You're right. It's not happening. It's just not happening. But Bo Nix, as much as I love him, and I think the ceiling is very high for Bo Nix, I really, really do. I think that he's got a lot of potential to be really great for this team for years and years and years to come. But Jaden Daniels right now, it's a rap ski. This says Bo Nix showed he was good in college. I just didn't think it would translate right away to the pros. He has room for improvement, but he's doing his job. He is. And that's just it. I think, yes, the Chargers game was a real big stink fest. It was not fun to watch. You know, they came out hot in that first half and then basically did not return to the game in the second half. However, we cannot ignore how great Bo Nix has been for this Broncos team. I don't think it's easy to play under Sean Payton, and he's done it, and he's done it well. So we've got to give credit where it's due, and Bo Nix has absolutely done his job. Now, is he going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year? No, he's not. He's just not. I know that for a fact. He's not going to win it. Jaden Daniels is, and he absolutely deserves it. Now, here's where the season award conversation gets tricky. Let's put up that NFL MVP graphic. Who gets it? Who is winning the MVP award? Because if I go right now to the FanDuel Sportsbook app, it's right here on my screen. If I go to season awards, Josh Allen is a pretty heavy favorite, minus 250. And actually, Christmas Eve, he was minus 450, which I find very interesting given the fact that Lamar Jackson, statistically, in almost every single category, is playing better than Josh Allen. Okay. Maybe it's the record. Maybe it's the fact that right now the Bills have a better record than the Ravens. The Bills are 12-3. Guess what? The Ravens are not that far behind at 11-5. Just saying. And in every statistical category, Lamar Jackson is having a better season. So why is Josh Allen such a convincing favorite in most sports books? I don't get it. I think we know that most, if not all, awards in major sports have become a popularity contest. We also know Lamar Jackson won the award last season, but voter fatigue already? When we're watching Lamar Jackson play his best football, he is significantly better this year than he was last year when he won MVP. He's also statistically better in every category than the front runner for MVP right now. So why is Lamar Jackson not the favorite to win MVP? You could come up with a million conspiracy theories if you'd like. I will sit here in silence and let you do that in the comments section. Feel free. But I don't think I agree with Josh Allen being the front runner. Now, do I think Josh Allen has had an incredible season? Yes. No one's taken that away from him. He's had a very, very great season. But do I think Josh Allen should be the favorite to win MVP? No, I don't. Statistically, in every category, Lamar Jackson has been better. And Lamar Jackson has done better this season than he did last season when he won the MVP award. And the Ravens are only 2 games behind the Bills right now. So I digress. The Ravens absolutely embarrassed the Texans. And I think that game kind of made that gap in odds a little bit less between Josh Allen as the favorite and Lamar Jackson just behind him. But I don't agree with Josh Allen being the favorite right now. Maybe that's a hot take. I really don't think it is. If you're a stats guy, you should probably want Lamar Jackson to be the favorite right now. It makes the most sense in my brain. So I'm talking touchdown passes. I'm talking interceptions. I'm talking rushing yards, passing yards, you name it. Lamar Jackson is better, numbers-wise. The only thing he's not better in is the record that is still a very winning one. It's just not as winning as the Bills. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Josh Allen as the favorite. I think Josh Allen is playing insanely great football right now, and he deserves his praise for that. But I'm not sure I would make him the favorite over Lamar Jackson. I just don't think I would personally. But that's just me. I digress. So that was your Guerrilla Sports Daily for the day, you guys. Like I said, I hope you had a wonderful holiday week, got to spend some time with family, take some time off, and just enjoy yourselves and eat good food and maybe have some drinks and just have a good time. So I hope that's what you got out of your holiday week. I am Liv Moods. This was presented by Trusted American Mortgage. If you want to know more information, head to trustedamerican.com, see how they can help you save some money today by either lowering your monthly payment or getting you a better interest rate. You can go to trustedamerican.com if you're listening, or if you're watching, that little QR code right here in the corner, you can just go ahead and take a picture of that bad boy, head to their website and figure out how they can help you save some money on your mortgage payments. Okay. Also, check out our friends at 7 Brew Coffee, would you? This is number one. This is the cutest hat maybe ever. But we have our friends over at 7 Brew Coffee up in Firestone. So if you're in Denver, just keep driving north. And apparently they have some really, really great coffee. I have not yet tried it, but I absolutely need to. Yeah, so check out their coffee. We've also got our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Go give them a shout. They've got a new Corsair GT hybrid. It's pretty sick. So go check them out. They're on the corner of Broadway and Bellevue, or head to landmarklincoln.com. This has been another Guerrilla Sports Daily. Happy Friday. I'm Liv Moods, and we'll see you in 30 minutes for an episode of Off Field. Bye.